Welcome to The New Economy. What's next? This series is going to be focused on the Irish model, how the country of Ireland grew from one of the poorest countries in Europe into one of the wealthiest countries in Europe. And we're going to be interviewing business leaders, economists, journalists that lived through this growth and helped shape it, and how we can do that here in the Bahamas. Some key facts: between 1978 and 2018, the Irish economy grew from $14 billion to $382 billion, which is an average growth rate of 8.5% per year. It earned the nickname the Celtic Tiger, and then after the 2008 financial crisis, it was called the Celtic Phoenix. It has a lot of similarities to us. We share the same legal system as them, the common law legal system. They are close to a large market, Europe, and we are close to several large markets, the United States and Latin America. So keeping all of this in mind, let's hear from today's guest. Our guest today is Hidai Degani from Degani Consulting, based in Ireland. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Ireland and how the business environment in Ireland is set up and his experience in his company. So stay tuned. We're going to jump right back in with our conversation with Hidai Degani. If you'd like to see part one of this interview or any of our episodes, please visit theneweconomy.tv. Episodes are posted after they air on our TV. So let's dive right in.
We talk about brand marketing, but it's really like that. I mean, the country markets create the reputation markets itself. So Bahamas have a good brand because you're thinking about those kind of positive things. Mm-hmm. But we probably don't recognize it yet with, successful companies from the Bahamas. We don't know those names. Mm-hmm. So you want to create, is it a good place to stay there, live there, and build a business there? That's why you need to start creating. And how do you get, those early adopters to come in, prove that it's working, probably with a lot of help for the first ones, and then start doing that. So if someone asks, what's in it for me to be in the Bahamas? So I think on the personal level, again, we didn't mention all the names, but it's about education. It's about security. Like Ireland is a secure place. Gibraltar is a very secure place. Mm-hmm. So when we look to those places, we talked about that. Good level of education for the kids if you have a family. Mm-hmm. And again, usually people in that age opening companies are probably in the age where they do have kids at some age. So again, they need that a good place to live. So cost of living and financially, will it be okay for me? Can I live? Is it better than a place? Talk about the quality of living. Again, can me and my family enjoy that place? Can we live there? So Bahamas, I can imagine, again, probably great because there's beaches, it's probably good weather.
And we have high-speed internet. So
that's important. Actually, that's a very important point. So infrastructure to run businesses, that's important. Some countries don't have that. And whatever you do, whatever you try to do, the internet is not good. And today it's an essential for any business.
No, yeah, I mean, look at us. We can still work because we have access to internet.
Yeah, and again, Ireland has also have a good enough infrastructure here, so we can do that. And the mobile reception and mobile internet also very good. Penetration of those tech and phones is high. And that's more and more part of quality of living for many people. If you don't have that, it's going to be a challenge for me, the family, to live with the kids. Mm-hmm. If you don't have the Wi-Fi, if YouTube is not running well on the kids, that's it, we're living.
No. And you have teenagers too, so I'm sure that they are glued to their devices.
They need that, like we said, we used to laugh that we need Wi-Fi before we need electricity and water. I mean, Wi-Fi is the first thing that we need working properly. And by the way, in some countries, it takes a lot of time to get internet running. One country waited a month for someone to come and install the Wi-Fi, which is, again, it shouldn't be like that. So, some country, one day, everything is running perfectly with water. So again, those kind of, and the thing is also, it's the early experience. When you relocate, it's a massive change. You basically leave your life behind and you start almost from scratch. You don't know anyone, you left everything behind. Everything is new to you. So if the start is not good, it's the likelihood of you surviving there
it's
lower.
It's too some people. It's friction. It's you want people to have kind of that starry-eyed feeling for as long as possible, so that they, like you say, they bring their friends, they bring their business associates, they bring because that ultimately brings wealth and money into the society.
Absolutely. And again, the beginning is essential because those early impressions and the first few months are very, very tough. So all the support needs to be about that. And you need to it's tough to imagine that because when you're in the country, you know everything. But the person coming in has no clue, nothing at all, even what to buy in the supermarket. He's never seen it. Everything is called differently. So I know it's a very tough thing to imagine, because unless you've done it before, it's hard to describe that. But you need a lot of support basically to make it a good start, and then which leads to a good continuation. And then you want to stay there and say, you know what, that's a place I can see myself living for a few good years. And many relocations fail. Again, the statistics are not great. Many people come in after 6 months or a year, it fails, and they go back. And again, it's a lot of effort that's been, money being wasted, because the company spent a lot of time, they brought someone in and then they leave. There's a lot of money wasted, and it's a lot of shame. It's a very bad experience. And again, so it's about knowing that and trying to put yourself in that kind of wear the heart of the other person, and build those kind of processes of moving companies and moving people, and think, what do they need all the time, and kind of hold their hand every step of the way for at least, I think, 6 months or something. They need a lot of support. But then you will see the benefits of that, because they will stay, be productive, and you'll see the benefits. And then again, they bring other people with them. And after you do the first one, you learn and you improve on that. But it's important to know that it's a big task, and you have to plan it and put some efforts in there. It's not just, okay, let's get them on a plane and give them a few things, and it'll be fine. It doesn't really work like that. And it's going to be a failure. It's a disappointment if you don't do it well.
Well, I mean, I think we have a good opportunity, because we've made our bread and butter off of hospitality. So we understand that you have to treat people right. We're very good at that. Now, walking people through processes is something we can grow on, but we should be able to translate those skills into that. So
what you touched upon there also is kind of a good point on culture. So culture, again, is a big topic, very, very sensitive, very tricky topic, but we still touch carefully on it. But every country in the world has a different culture. And when you come with your own culture, it's different. Now, I'm an Israeli. Even though I'm out of Israel for many years, I'm an Israeli. As much as I try to soften it, it's still there. You talk with the end, the loud voice, all of that, which is a very different, unique, distinct culture compared to almost any other culture. So knowing that it's different and be able to adapt to that from both sides, this person coming needs to understand and respect the culture, the local culture, and the local culture, getting people coming is also a process. So actually what you're saying there for the Bahamas is a good starting point, because you're used to getting people visiting, millions of people, again, every year from all over the world. So you learn how to understand the accent and what they say, what they mean, how to treat French people and German people and Israeli people and all of that, which is actually a great starting point. Some countries are not used to it. Actually, Ireland are now experiencing a huge wave of foreigners, immigrants coming in, which is a new phenomenon. The history of Ireland is actually quite opposite. When people left,
people actually left.
Exactly. So actually, they're used to many Irish people living in the States, the community, and many countries all over the world. But now, actually, Irish people are staying here, and more people like myself are coming here. But it means that the businesses here need to adapt, and they're doing it to get those different people with different cultures, different ways of doing business, different ways of living coming in. So we need to open, understand, and again, find the ways to get along together under a joint company culture or a joint country culture to make it work. If you don't do that well, you're not aware of that, that can be very easily friction. You can, on cultural element, you can very quickly make mistakes, very easily offend someone by mistake, but purely good intentions, one word, one wrong here and there, you don't know, and you might actually offend someone very deeply without ever, if we're not trying to do that at all. So I think that's also a big part of when you start building an operation, a global operations, and our world is becoming more and more global. If one thing COVID-19 is showing us very clearly, it's the most global phenomenon I've ever seen.
Amazing. I mean, that spread faster than bad news. I mean, it's amazing how quickly that just months in the whole world. The whole world it's been affected.
Yeah, it's amazing. Again, it's affected all the world, right? And so quickly, and now we're all affected by some kind of lockdown all over the world. So every country is kind of dealing with that in its own way. You can also see differences in how countries adapt to it, and what they do depends on their leadership and depends on their culture in that place, which are the differences. But in general, it's a very global phenomenon. And again, the world is becoming more and more global. There's more and more relocation, there's more and more mobility, which actually is an opportunity for countries like the Bahamas who want to attract people, because if you compare it now to 10 years ago, it's a whole different world with the mobility levels, the relocations, more and more people have done it at least once or maybe twice. Not many did it 5 times like us, still a bit crazy, but
Yeah,
more and more people are doing it at all and doing it more than once. It's actually it's a growing. So I know more people, far more than I used to 10 years ago. So it's becoming easier to do that globally. So if you do it well, I think you have the chance, the opportunity to the Bahamas or any country to attract the people and the businesses, but you do need to put an effort in a plan, and it's a long-term game. It's not a quick win. No. It is a strategic effort you need to do, and try it, see how, like everything, try it, see what works, get feedback, see what's stopping companies and people, go there and improve that, and keep on doing it. But if you do that, again, Bahamas, I think, have a lot of good advantages on that side to be able to do that and look outside and look at other kind of case studies and successes out there. I want to mention one more country which is interesting. I didn't live there. I was visiting there, which is Estonia. Okay. And you know, Estonia have done something very interesting. Again, it's a small country in East Europe. And what they've done recently, which made me think, if I'm not going to be opening a business in Ireland, Estonia was my second option. I'll tell you why. Oh. Because actually they're the country who moved to digital management, digital everything, farther than any other country in the world, and they've done it their brand. So if you go to Estonia now on the website, you'll see we're a digital country. You can open a business here from anywhere in the world with no paperwork, nothing at all, in a matter of days. So you can set up your company, you don't have to be there, you have to be any passport, doesn't matter. Run the business, get paid, all of that in Estonia, and you pay taxes to the local Estonia government. So they made it their brand. And now if you go to Estonia, everything, digital country, digital everything. So they made something which is above and beyond every other country, and they now push it outside. So now a few companies actually moved there. It's startups especially, targeting startups, new companies. And again, from a country that wasn't really famous for that, but they're very good in tech, infrastructure and tech and innovation. Now they're known by that, and more people know, yeah, I've heard about Estonia. So they make it their brand, they market it. And now it's becoming more and more interesting. They will attract companies and eventually people as well and businesses.
Here are my 3 key takeaways from this section. 1. Modern infrastructure such as high-speed internet is very, very important. 2. We need to find a way to reduce friction as much as possible. We need to think of these processes from the point of view of the user. And 3. We live in a global world. We must find better ways to use it to our advantage. We'll be right back after this message from our sponsors. At Arawak X, we understand that for businesses to grow, they need capital to hire staff, buy equipment, and fuel innovative ideas. We support this process by using technology, years of business acumen, and a world-class team to get business the investment they need to get to the next level. If you are a business owner and need between $100,000 and $3 million, contact us today. We will schedule a meeting over the phone or video chat. Get on the path to your dreams. Arawak X. Dream bigger.
Documents are part of every essential business process. That's why it is important that they keep moving forward. Documents can be forwarded to the wrong person, left behind on someone's desk, or in the worst case scenario, they're completely forgotten. So it can take an eternity for an invoice to be approved, for example. This causes aggravation and costs time and money. DocuWare takes your documents straight to the finish line electronically, without detours. All documents are always exactly where they are needed. Employees are immediately notified if they have to process a document. And what previously took an eternity is now almost incidental.
direct ownership of the Bahamian pie isn't for you, think again. At Arawak X, we believe in the ingenuity of the Bahamian people. These times are uncertain and unprecedented, but we know that in every crisis there is an opportunity to add value to people's lives. To this, we understand that new businesses will be formed and old ideas whose time has finally come will be realized. We see this in industries long been ignored by traditional financial services and by society at large, particularly in our digital businesses, agribusiness, fishing, manufacturing, and even new touristic ventures. Due to our present circumstances, these businesses have finally been brought to the forefront. Arawak X seeks to give your ideas and your participation a means of making your financial dreams a reality. We give businesses and investors tools needed to finance them. Business is a complicated thing, with many moving and changing parts that often require multidisciplinary teams to turn ideas into reality. While no one can truly say which businesses will make it and thrive and which will not, there are certain formulaic traits that successful businesses have. This is why we here at Arawak X place such a high emphasis on corporate governance and the structure it brings to give companies the best chance at growth and expansion. Arawak X operates a regulated and financially inclusive platform that combines modern technology with best practices and a world-class team to bring together businesses and investors at every level, allowing wider participation in ownership of companies. So here's how it works. Investors, both foreign and local, individual and institutional, can view offerings and directly invest into these companies. We have spent several years and invested greatly in our staff and technology processes. We are doing this by greatly expanding the ease of investment. In other words, people will be able to participate in promising new ventures for as little as $50. The ethos of our institution is that of financial inclusion. And in this spirit, we ourselves will be a publicly traded company. In these next few months, as we roll out our platform, know that we view ourselves as an integral part of a wider societal change, the change that brings ownership, opportunity to everyone. We are pleased to work with our partners in industry, government, civil society, and the people in making the Bahamas the best little nation on this planet. As a first step, we have put together a free online course, the Intelligent Bahamian Investor Masterclass, that will give you some of the basics to investing. This can be found at invest242.com. Arawak X, dream bigger. I've been blessed to grow up in a business family. The most important thing I've learned from them was to listen to experts' stories, learn from their successes, try to avoid their mistakes, and copy best practices. In the New Economy TV show, we are bringing innovative experts that are growth-focused. This show is for entrepreneurs, business leaders, and policymakers. Join me and my guests every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. on our TV. The New Economy. What's next? Okay, I think you know, like I said, this here is the main viewers of this are entrepreneurs, and actually we have a lot of policymakers that are watching this this show. So I'm trying to educate people as to the outside world, because not many. Well, let me rephrase it. There's groups of Bahamians that are educated outside of the Bahamas, and there are groups that are educated inside. And we all have to work together during this hard time to make the country more attractive to foreign direct investment, more attractive to the right kinds of industries, so that the economy can grow even throughout this. Like a little tidbit about Ireland, I did some research on Ireland. Between 1978 and 2018, the economy on average grew by 8.5% a year. And so huge growth. Even now it's growing even faster than the rest of the countries in Europe. So it's you guys are doing a lot of things right there, a lot of things right.
I think it's, again, I cannot say you guys because I'm new to Ireland, so I'm not an expert in Irish policy, not my credit. But I can tell you that interesting thing which I've seen here, which is my impression, because I cannot attest on the history, I don't know it well enough, but I think we mentioned a few crises that the Bahamas and of course the whole world experienced. 2008 is a massive event in every country, and Ireland is no different. It was a huge blow, and many people, especially a bit older people, remember it very well. It's even a traumatizing event for the country. However, they did recover from it. They did learn from it. And you can see them now in responding to that crisis, trying to take the lesson and say, remember what happened then? Let's take a lesson learned. Let's do the right thing so we will do better and learn from what we've seen. But there is an ability which I like here, is the ability to come together and we will overcome. We will do it together and we will survive. So not to think it is somewhat about the mental, kind of how you look at that and how you think, yeah, we will survive. We're in a strong position. We'll manage it well. It will be hard. But if we work together and a community feeling to it, which again, I don't know enough about the Hamas to know how is that. But I think in Ireland, I respect that they come together and say, we'll survive, we'll help each other, we'll get through this, and we'll be stronger on the other side. It's gonna be tough, but we will be better, we will survive that. And I think that kind of mindset and going there and then do the actions accordingly to do that. And of course, no one is perfect. It's a very tough crisis to manage on every level. But I think you see that, it's a good thing for any country to kind of try to really say it like it is what it is, be honest about communication again, and do the right steps and action and tell the citizens, the businesses, that's what's gonna happen, that's what we're gonna do, that's what we expect you to do, that's our best advice I'm trying to do. So in general, I have to say again, I'm happy to be here currently because they do a good job. People, of course, say government could do more, etc. It's always the case, and probably is.
That's always how it is.
But in general, if you compare to other models, other countries, I think it's managed quite well, and you can understand what's going on there, and you can see also. And I think I want to mention, which I think is interesting and important as well, and can drive change, is like you said, the more people expose themselves outside of their own country and coming back with different experience and different ways of doing things, that helps the country move. Because if people don't moving, staying in the same place, it's hard to challenge what's been perceived as that's the way we've always done it. Mm-hmm. But the more people actually go out, usually it's university or businesses, and then when they come back, they bring it with them. So no, actually, we do it differently. I've seen it happening there. I've seen it in myself, which is the best experience, is what you've seen yourself. And I can bring it in, let's do it. I've seen in UK, they do it like that, in the States, they do it like that. And the more you get it in, you can challenge and then say, yeah, this is our way. And again, we have a culture, and I think every country has a core values and core culture which should be preserved in favor of, but we can actually improve that element and be a bit more like those guys and take a little bit of that. And I think once you get this process of trying to build the culture and improve the culture, while not losing the past, always respect where you come from and have that. But as you try to enrich it with other cultures, you're in a stronger position. I think countries that embrace that, getting stronger, countries who are against that or afraid of foreign influence, they won't progress because that's a given. The world is global. You want people to come to you from different places. You want to embrace their cultures while keeping your own. It's a very tricky balance to find.
Yes.
But I do see, if you look in the world, you see countries embracing that, are stepping forward. Countries who are, my understanding, if you're against that, you're not going to progress because first of all, you cannot stop it. It's happening anyway.
It cannot stop it. You can't stop it. The world is global. We go on our phones that are made in China to watch videos that are made in Europe or in the US, and we eat food that comes from all over. So you can't stop this. So you might as well embrace it, and you might as well make some money off of it, honestly. So
I think that's a challenge. Again, if the Bahamas have that, I think that's a good base to be, that so many countries come to visit. You've seen so many people coming, and you understand that there's so much variety of people in the world and how they do business, which tourism is business, it's a massive business. It could be I think it's probably a good starting point. I think those are kind of good points to build upon. And COVID-19 will, of course, counter the crisis, but again, it will be over. Tourism will be back at some point. And then but you're right. I mean, the countries probably try to not put so much emphasis.
No, you can't. You have to diversify. You can't. I mean, like it's not prudent to have all your eggs in one basket. COVID-19 hit in Ireland, yet the Irish people, most of them are still working, most of them are still finding a way through it. Yes, there's slowdowns, but it's not a complete stop of everything. And that's kind of what we find ourselves in right now. It's kind of a complete stop.
60 to 80% unemployment currently in the Bahamas because of tourism, because tourism is such a strong part of industry. That's a tough, a shocking figure. I mean, that's really
shocking. You can't do it again. It can't be like this again. That's just the reality. We wouldn't be doing our job as adults in the society if we allow, basically every decade we get punched in the face. I mean, you can't do that.
Can't continue.
Okay. No. I think one interesting thing on a positive note there that could be interesting, we talked about in the beginning on customer experience, and then global, and then tourism. Tourism, again, is all about customer experience. You remember a good vacation because I got a great experience. So there's something there about the experience, a global experience, and making people be very happy. You can leverage that, I think, to other places. Even, again, all of the hotels in the world, all of the people that sell you experience are trying to do that better than the others. So again, if there's core understanding of that, how to do it well, that can be leveraged to other places as well, and branch out, hopefully, to other industries and do something quite interesting there. And I know you know fintech very well as well. And
yes.
Something I like to say about fintech, which is a criticism but an opportunity. If you look at the digital banks today, the new ones, which I'm using some of them, and we all know some of them, if you're really critically about them, are they really different than the old banks? Are they really giving you a genuinely better experience? Exactly, not really. Okay, there's no branches. Okay, but doesn't mean your online is better than the others. I mean, all of them have online. So I think there's an opportunity, still a big opportunity, to do banking, fintech, financial services better from the point of view of the customer, you and me. Do you feel that your banks, any bank, is treating you and come to you to help you in this moment of crisis? Not really. You think, do you get any communication from any bank telling you, Hidai, in this moment of need, can we help you in some say? What about this and this and that? No one is.
No, not any institution anywhere is saying, hey, like, we're with you during this crisis, and that's important. I mean, like, we want to know that these institutions are with us, not just trying to make money off of us, and that's they're definitely lacking in that regard.
Exactly. So would you and I appreciate a company that actually comes to us and say, "I know it's tough, but you know what? This loan, forget about it. This is something. Let's take a break,
or at least defer. At least we'll do some deferment or payment, or we'll work with you. I mean, I would love to think that banks would just forgive loans, but I don't know if there's any bank or anywhere that would do that. But
but the opportunity,
but working with you,
so someone to actually get to know you, know what you need, and again, the technology is there. We say one thing we should say always: technology is always there, always getting better. But it's not about technology. Technology is a means to an end. It doesn't do value on its own. It's about business and people. And they don't change really. We're not changing that dramatically. Technology, yes, but what we need, the fundamental needs are not similar. So it's about using technology and really build something which is better for people and better for business. Yeah. And if you can do that, if you create an excellence around that and start building that, I think there's big potential still, plenty of potential to do better, to break the boxes, think outside, think of the real needs of people. And if you do that, I think that can become an opportunity on a business level, on a personal level, and on a country level to become a place where this has been done better. And that, again, drive that as a place of center of excellence, or any way you want to call it. I think there's good opportunities in that space as well. I know you're working the fintech side of things and investment to make that easier. There's good opportunities, I think, there.
Well, we're trying to add value to this process by reducing the barriers to entry, as well as, like you say, making a seamless customer experience. There's a lot of unnecessary steps that we believe exist. Now, all the while sticking to the regulations and keeping, because you need regulations, you need those things, but the customer shouldn't feel like he's, just came out of a drag down, knockdown fight, to use your product. I mean, that's just. How can people find you, get in contact with you? So anyone watching this?
So I'm a big fan of LinkedIn, so LinkedIn should be the best place. Hidai Degani, not too many that name. That's a good thing, actually.
I'll post it. You'll see it up on the screen. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. I really appreciate the invitation. I'm happy. Hopefully it was helpful and interesting. Thanks.
So that was Hidai Degani from OH Degani Consulting. Thank you for joining us.